up a lot.
Oh, yeah. Coffee.
I'm like a huge like coffee. I'll sip coffee out throughout the day, and then I'll have like a. You ever had Celsius?
Yeah.
Bro, them things are like liquid crack.
It really is.
It's like dangerous because like you'll drink it and then you'll be awake for like. My thing is with Celsius is you'll enjoy it for a few hours, and then you'll be like, all right, this is cool, and then it'll be like 6-10 hours after you drank it, and you're like, holy shit, like I'm fucking cracked out right now.
I'm ripped.
I would honestly, like, if I could write a letter to a Celsius company, whoever they're owned by, I would be like, yo, you've definitely given me a lot of fuel to just get at least half my discography out just because of I'll be up like 4 o'clock in the morning, like, fuck, I drank that Celsius at like 6 p.m. I'm up. And it's like, so I'll like make the whole project and then upload it to Bandcamp and then upload it to DSPs and still be fucking awake. Like, what's the next move? Because like Celsius is literally liquid crack.
See, with Celsius, I have to work out in order to drink it. Okay, so like if I'm not going to work out, I don't want to drink it because I feel like I will be cracked out.
Yo, right.
And yeah, it really does happen. It really does happen that way. But we did start the podcast here. So here we are. It's been a beautiful day here. It is Santa Claus Parade Day in Scranton, so I appreciate you for coming out all the way from Delaware, bro. And you were telling me that you didn't get no snow, but over here we got nailed. We got nailed.
It was crazy when I drove through here. It was literally almost, I think it was like 46 and sunny, and then driving through here in a snap of a jazz song. So to say, it literally went to damn near like a Christmas blanket night. I mean, shit, Jazzy Lion Man's in town and Santa's in town apparently.
Yeah.
So might as well throw a party.
And you know, we are going to talk about eggnog and everything, so it's fitting, extremely fitting. You guys will see. But there was a snowstorm yesterday, right? So I went to work. Okay, I got a little story for you. I had a day yesterday at work. I got a 2-hour delay to head into work, first of all, and that's a first. I'm like, what the hell? I didn't know we get 2 hours delays to go to work. But I was like, listen, I got to go to work because I'm trying.
That's kind of like school.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Back Thursday.
The boss was like, hey, man, wait until 8:30 to clock in. And I'm like, all right, cool. And so I was like, nah, I need to clock in. But they weren't forcing me to. Anyway, I was supposed to go to the town called Blakesley. Blakesley is like 40 minutes down the highway, okay? I got 15 minutes out of Scranton, and then I get at a standstill. I'm at a standstill. I'm like, oh, shit, here we go. What's going on? Bro, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Nah. Oh yeah, I think I seen you post that on your story. You was literally sitting in your truck like this. I was like, damn, that's some fucking traffic right there.
Dude, I was in it, bro, all day long, just sitting there, losing my mind, watching some Kill Tony, digesting your discography, things like that, man. Peace. But it was one hell of a day yesterday, man. So I'm glad.
Just sat in the standstill traffic?
Yep.
What was it? Was it like the snow?
Yeah, they closed the highway down. So I guess what they do is, and I don't even think that there was an incident. I could be wrong. I really don't know. But I'll tell you this. When the highway opened up, everything from that highway that they had blocked off was pristine, nice and clean. So I'm like, do they block it off and let the guys clean it up and then let people go through? Is that how that works when they're anticipating that much snow? Right. I don't know. But it was just like, I was pretty frustrated, bro. I sat there for about 6 hours, no food. I was there rationing my water. Like I was struggling, bro. I was struggling, bro. It was one hell of a day. And then, you know, we eventually made it out. I went to go move the van, and as soon as I put it in drive, the back tire started spinning. I'm sitting on ice this whole time, and it was one hell of a day. But we're here. We're glad we're alive, and we got paid, and that's my story of the day, everyone. But welcome to episode 121 of the Middleman Podcast, featuring Jazzy the Lion Man, bro. Peace. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. Thank you for traveling all the way from Delaware, because that does mean a lot for when people do travel to the Middleman Podcast, bro. So thank you for being here. You found out about the show through Mr. Gomi.
Yo, my guy, bro. We're gonna get more into the topic of Gomi. Like, it's literally like. People be like, oh, that's my homie, that's my music homie, that's family right there for sure. But thank you for having me. Shout out to you. Shout out to Gomi. Shout out to Mr. Cameraman over here. Shout out to everybody involved in this. I appreciate y'all for having me. We're Delaware's in this motherfucker. Appreciate it.
We love it, man. We love it. Shout out the hat there, the Jazzy Lion Man hat. That is a very unique hat you got going on there. I got a Baker Immaculate fit going on today, so shout out Baker Immaculate. But yeah, man, we'll just talk right in. We'll talk about Gomi because that's the first topic at hand. That's how this connection happened. The first song that I heard from you featured was Walk.
Yeah.
Walk on Nomad, okay? Mm-hmm. Nomad, Gomi J's album Walk. And then the second one was Lion O. So how did you two, you guys, he told me he reached out to you in EggNog, okay? And that's your first album, debut, solo project, correct?
Yeah, that's my first solo project. That was my second project to hit streaming and to work on it. My first project was Don't Skip the Lion 1 with my homie Skip the Kid. He's a producer out in Pennsylvania, way out west. And Newcastle, Pennsylvania, if I'm correct. Shout out Skip. Appreciate you, my guy. And we did that. And I was talking to him about how I wanted to do this EggNog project and kind of bring it to light, because I'm a huge fan of eggnog, believe it or not, with the title. So I'm not like a huge like Christmas, like, oh, this is cool. I'm just more of a fan of the drink, because like, you can definitely style it so many different ways. And I can also style my beat so many different ways, because like so many different cultures have a different take on eggnog. And then so many different people, even inside of here, like the U.S., make different flavors of eggnog, whether it's like a homemade or whether it's like the peppermint or just regular eggnog. It's just so versatile. And I feel like my sounds and my art is also very versatile as well. So then I was talking to my homie Skip, and I was like, I want to do this. I think I'm going to start dropping this as like an annual like reoccurring event. Like every December, that Jazzy Lion Man's going to drop on Christmas with the eggnog series. Like next month, I'm going to be dropping EggNog 2. To me, that is going to be my best project to date, because I have a lot of new people that I'm working with. Also, the same people I continue to work with and build a relationship with. I think that they also showed out a lot on there as well. And also, my production has also grown from the last time I made EggNog 1. So it's going to be a totally different sound, a totally different vibe as well, of just, revamping what the first solo project that put me on. But I just feel like I have so many different ways and styles and different like sounds. I can make like a lo-fi beat, a trap beat, a upbeat, a low beat, just not even like a beat at all, just like euphoric sounds that you could like fall asleep to, or just like I'm not sure if you're familiar with like the sleep sounds or sleep jazz or stuff like that. It's basically just like background music people put on to like fall asleep to. I have a few of those little albums that are in the cut. Just so many different styles. So the eggnog for sure is the way to display the style that I create.
Well, let me ask you this: like, where did producing come in line for you? How long have you been doing this? You had mentioned off camera that you started not too long ago, and you have such a large discography, and you have a lot of tracks that are unreleased. So talk me through. Your first project was with Don't Skip the Lion with Skip the Kid.
Correct.
Right. When did that start? Were you making beats before that?
No, not really. It was I was collecting vinyls a lot, like a couple years before that. But prior to that, I couldn't really afford much, because growing up, I kind of like jumped off the porch very early. So I was like on my own around like 13, 14. So I was more or less just like bills, food, like the adult thing before
Trying to survive
before a kid should really have to survive and grow up. So I couldn't really like have an Xbox, PlayStation, Wi-Fi, even Wi-Fi and shit like that. I wasn't able to like have. I was just more worried about rent being paid and stuff like that. So I would collect stuff to sample for a couple of years, probably like 5 years. And then I finally saved up some money to buy the MPC-1 off a musician's friend. My friend told me to go to that website, and he was like, yo, you got to go here and just stalk the page for a couple of weeks. And every day they do a deal of the day. And the deal of the day was beat machines and beat pads, and the MPC-1 was on sale, like a crazy good sale. I don't even, like,
how long were you doing that for until you were able to get?
Like looking at the MPC? It was a couple of months, because I finally was able to, once I had the money, I was like, oh, I need, like, I'm itching to make music, because I wasn't able to because of the low funds. But once I was able to get it, I got the MPC. It came in within a week, and then I had so many records to go through. I was just like, like literally like just.
You were itching to make music, right? Is it just the appreciation of those vinyls and things that you used to listen to that really got you inspired to start creating your own type of music?
Kind of, but I also wanted to, like, I had a lot of friends before I started making beats that made music, or like that rap, or a lot of people say they have friends that rap, but I know a lot of artists throughout the East Coast area, and I'm like, damn, like I could give them a sound that they'd never rapped on before, or not to like pat myself on the back, but they'd never even heard before, because like a lot of people are like not really sampling like certain genres of jazz, or just like consistently jazz, because that's what I'd like to sample. So a lot of people don't rap. They rather rap on fucking drums or trap beats, or just regular soul drumless loops, which is cool. I make those too, but I'm just like addicted to making jazz type beats, if that makes sense.
Who are some of the jazz heads that you really have an appreciation and an ear for?
I like Miles Davis a lot, because it's like he's not like on like a very like 1, 2, 3, 4, very like the same pattern. It's like so obscure. And there's this artist. His name is Ornette Coleman. He's like a free jazz artist, and the free jazz is there's no concept to the song. It's not like piano solo, bars, and then maybe like a guitar solo, and then some other instruments. It's just like literally a freestyle of jazz, but it might be like 16 minutes long, which is fucking crazy to sit on stage and freestyle jazz with a band.
Yeah.
But that's some of my favorite because it's like basically improv jazz or improv music, so you never know what you're going to get.
Does that intertwine in your creative process when you're making?
Absolutely.
I see that. I hear that, bro. I hear that because, like, I have here my notes, large discography. When did you start? And you have extremely large discography that we can go through that will take days for people to digest,
Yeah.
But there were just sounds in there, bro. There were sounds in there that I've never heard before.
Yeah.
I mean this in the kindest way possible. I was confused because I was like, okay, like I'm confused, but it's like I'm trying to figure out the rhythm, the flow, and I see now talking with you, it's making sense. Like you have a different way of processing music, but you are capable of keeping it within the realms of what people are accustomed to hearing.
Yeah.
But you like to create outside the box.
Absolutely.
And use different noises and different sounds.
I like to you ever like I think it's abstract art. Are you familiar
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Where it's like there's like you'll look at it and you'll be like, that's literally a pile of fucking nails glued together with trash. But to somebody it's like oh man, like that's trash. But like to other people, you could give that to like your fucking high school art teacher and be like, that's abstract art. And she'll be like, it's a B+. All right, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So like it's just what I like to do with sometimes beats, or I won't even add drums to it. I just like to, if it just loops well and it just meshes well, or if I just like to listen to it and it sounds good, because I make it for myself before I'm like, oh, I got to make this right here and release it so I can make a fucking million streams or $1 million. That'd be awesome, but I'm more or less just everything I release, I can listen to, I can vibe out to, I can smoke, I can relax to, or I can send out to people and they can rap and freestyle over it or just make songs over it. So it really just depends, but all my projects kind of have like this own, the title is kind of what it's going to sound like, or like the title and the art is going to basically give you like an idea of like, oh, this is going to sound like this, or this is like the Jazzstronomics project that I was talking about that I'm working on slowly. It's literally jazz and like astral projection music and like space sounds meshed together. So just Jazzy Lion Man and Astronomics put together. So that's going to be something like I always like to make them my own little like sound movie wave out of. That's kind of the goal with everybody that I make music with, whether it's
unique,
like
bro.
Production, like me and my homie Scale Beats. He's out in Australia. We just made a project called Even a Lion Can Break a Bone. And so it's just a lion skeleton. So it's Jazzy Lion Man and Scale Beats kind of put stuff together like that. Whoa. And then it's just more or less just collabing and trying to make a visual art just off of sounds, if that makes sense, instead of just being like, check my new beat tape out. It's 14 beats of just sounds. It also is sounds with the art also, too, with that. It's not just like, check my new little tape out. It has nothing, no theme, no nothing,
You're locked in, bro. You really got quite the production process. And, like, talk to me about your production process, bro. How is it that you can create so many songs in a short span of time, bro? Because, like, just so, like, how long do you stay up at night, bro? Do you sleep?
Yeah, I do. I do. What's funny is I actually, like, I was talking about this the other day with one of my homies. I hate sleep.
Oh,
if that makes sense.
An insomniac.
Well, like, I sleep kind of, surprisingly, I sleep kind of often, considering how much I drop music. I just, like, whenever I get tired, I get irritable and I get mad because I'm tired. Because if it was up to me, I'd be able to sleep for like 1 hour a day and then just work for like the 23.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Or like, I know that's not healthy though, and it's how you burn out and stuff like that. But like, whenever I start to get like tired, or I'm like, damn, like I'm starting to, fade out a little bit because I've been working for fucking 10 hours straight at this computer chair or whatever, banging out after. But then I'm just like, damn, I don't want to go to bed. Like, I want to like, I could finish this project, or like I could start the next one, because sometimes
start the next one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
I don't know. Like, I'm just, I'm really hungry for like, just to work more, if that makes sense. Like, every time I drop, I'm like, oh, that shit was awesome. Like, I'm ready to promote it, but as I'm ready to promote it and lay it out and kind of like introduce it to people and start like the like the promo process of it being released, I'm already thinking about like my next like couple projects, and I'm already itching to drop the next shit because I'm so hungry for them.
Now, I want to talk to you about that. I really do. Okay, because I have a different outlook. Okay, as to how it all is being broken down. I mean, I understand the hungriness and trying to get everything out there as much as possible. But do you ever feel like it sometimes diminishes or de-appreciates the previous project that you dropped before if you don't let it simmer for the people? Because like I'm telling you as a consumer, right, as someone who went out looking for it and found it, there's a lot to choose from, which is fantastic, but it's being dropped at a rate that some people might find hard to keep up with. You know, so is there ever a thought as to maybe letting it slow down to let the people sit with it and really get a true understanding of what that project was supposed to be meant for and the feelings that were projected through that?
Yeah, I could see a lot of people has brought that up before, but there's also like I've watched other artists and other like.
Well, how's it working for you? Is it?
It works
Is it
good.
up? If it's up and up, then shit doesn't matter what I think.
Well, one, I don't really worry about like, all right, if I drop this, then like, basically, Joe Schmo and fucking Maria Tia over here isn't going to like it.
Not
okay,
Maria Tia.
Okay, cool. Well, that's not. It might not be for them, but the people that listen to me or like the people that like watch my stuff, I have certain people that will be like, yo, this project is 1, 2, 3. I like these tracks. Oh, I checked this project out from last week too. I like this, that, and the third. So I make music for the people that also like tune in and give me reception as well. That just they're friends, but there's also fans of my music and followers as well. So sometimes some people might call it oversaturation. Other people might be like, oh, this is fucking awesome. We don't really see this much like work and quality music out. So to each his own.
Yes.
If that makes sense. But there's also a lot of people that have done it before me. I'm not trying to think I'm like the pioneer of this.
No, I get it.
But like my homie Gustavo, he also drops a lot too, you know, and like it's just we like to work, if that makes sense. Like it's like, okay, if you don't want to listen to it, or if you're like, oh, he's dropping too much oversaturation, then don't fucking listen to it. And that's totally cool. It's up to you. But other people will, or other people based off of just the work ethic, they'll be like, holy shit, this dude has dropped a project every week this month. It was 5 weeks in this month. I got to check this out to see what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Versus just like, oh, I've dropped a project 2 years ago. You want to check it out? Like that's like your homie being like, yo, I'm gonna make you something to eat, and he brings you an egg sandwich. He's like, yeah, I bought this loaf of bread like 2 years ago. You're like, I don't want that stale ass shit. That was 2023. You know what I'm saying? That's 2022. Like we're trying some new shit. So a lot of people just appreciate new shit as well, or just understand the hustle. Like, yo, you're fucking working. Like I gotta tap in regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, no, thanks for clarifying that, because like, you know, as you said, some people could see it as oversaturation. Some people could see it as this guy's working and he's hungry. I mean, I think about it with my platforms, you know, sometimes you can even say that I oversaturate, especially with the reels. You know,
a good thing, though.
I oversaturate with the reels. And I'll tell you,
who cares?
On my perspective, on my side of things, it's on the up and up. So I'm going to continue to do it as I am. And until it starts going down, you know, I really have no reason to.
But even if it goes down, you shouldn't, even because you're not always going to be on the incline. Sometimes you plateau for a little bit, and sometimes you regress, and that's all part of the process as well. But it's also just like, even if your shit goes down, I would just keep working.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because then it's like, oh, he stopped and lost a couple of his followers. He ain't on the wave of this sharing stream anymore. He's not doing that much, so he's not working no more. That's kind of like, so are you doing it for the views, or are you doing it because you love it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll drop fucking 100 beat tapes, and if 2 people listen to it, or if 2,000 people listen to it, I'm going to still keep dropping it. Probably
Correct.
Similar to how your platform is. If you only get a few views, you're still going to drop another
dropping it.
You're still going to drop another episode and do your reels, right?
Yes.
And I would do the same thing. I'm still going to promote my project. If it got fucking 2 streams, I'm like, yo, I'm going to find out who these 2 people are streaming it. I'm like, yo, good looks. Or if, you know, you get 2 billion people, I mean, I'll still be thankful for that. But it's also just like, I do it for me as well as I do it. You know, there's a lot of reasons why I do it, but I'm just going to do it regardless because I love the passion for it, and I have a passion because it's kind of like, are you going to still do it whether it's not cool anymore, if that makes sense? Like, because that shows like the real passion of what you have. Like, okay, beats and rap and underground shit ain't cool no more. Are you still going to do it? Or are you going to fucking go get a 9 to 5? Or are you going to just make the pop music or make whatever music's cool at that point in time? Or are you going to still do what you love and your passion? Or like, podcast, let's say nobody listens to podcasts no more, and that's a fucking thing of the past. And they're like, podcast, are you still going to do it because you had the passion for it? And eventually one day it might come up in the archives and it might be a wave again, or people might just still fuck with it and listen to it. it's about the dedication and have love for the art. If it's still not popping, you're still going to do it because you enjoy doing it.
The way you explain that and put it together, bro, I see the passion. I see it burning right through your eyes, and I get it, bro. So congratulations to you. You're an absolute killer, bro. I want to double back around to talk about eggnog, okay? Because I think it's very interesting. It's comical to me. You're like, yeah, no, the reason I named it eggnog is because I love eggnog, and that's pretty funny. And you decided to make that like a premiere project for you.
Yeah.
A premiere project for you. What was the inspiration for making that project your premiere project that every year is like your top? Because, you're dropping so much, but that one project is the ace of the year for
Correct.
you. You know what I mean? So,
and that's the one where like I'm like, okay, I'm dropping all these projects here. But like this one here, if y'all like any of these projects, a lot of these people that were on these projects, I'm kind of getting them together like the Avengers, or I'm getting actually fuck the Avengers because I don't really watch all this shit. I'm kind of grabbing them like the you know how they did the NBA All-Star draft last year?
Yes.
How they basically like had Bron pick like you. That's where he called Luka Doncic, Hookah Doncic. He was wilding for that. That's funny. So he basically was like picking, and that's what I kind of do as well with like throughout the tapes. I'm like, okay, this did really well. Okay, this song did really well. Me and this person, even though it's not a rapper, me and this producer made really good music together. I'm gonna hit him and have him do a collab beat on Eggnog too. Or like I have 2 features from Skip the Kid, and it's only one of them's a beat. So he might be doing a little rap interlude. He might be talking a little shit. Or like I have a couple of features from my homies from the Narconomics squad, because we just made so much good music throughout the year. I'm like, okay, I gotta have all of them on there separately and also as a unit together, because we've just made so many good hits, if I could say so myself, and put it together. Or like I have this one person that I collab with. You're familiar with Two Jeebs? He's going to be on Eggnog too as well. There's just a lot of people that I've worked with that I've meshed well together that, we try to go up together. It's just like assembling the all-star team, like you, and we're all going to show out and stuff.
So when you first started as a producer, right? You look back at it now, right? You look at where you're at now. You're telling me you're building a team, things like that. Squad. We'll just call them the A team, right?
Where?
How does that make you feel as a guy basically putting it together?
It feels good. I kind of feel like it's not like I have my own team. I'm a part of Narconomics, so it's kind of like that's Gustavo Luis's.
Shout out Gustavo. He's in the room.
My guy.
He's in the room.
That's family. It's besides this rap stuff too. I'm more of a part of that group instead of being my own leader and stuff like that. Even though I lead myself on my own path, I feel like my own trailblazer. But I mesh well with a couple of groups. Like I have my Narconomics family. We've done a lot of music together. Me and Gustavo probably have at least, I think it's 8 projects out on streaming and probably another 8 to 10 finished in the tuck with a bunch of Lucy's around. So we have a lot of work together. But I'm also really close friends and have a good work ethic and relationship with the people in FKR, which is formerly known Records. It's my homie Davila and Two Jeebs out there, and that's his Davila's recording studio. And we've made the 09-10-01.
Yeah,
that was the sequel.
I mean, why don't we talk about that EP there, just because we're walking into it, and I was a fan of the 09-10-01.
Yeah.
What a crazy name for an EP there. You guys are definitely thinking out of the box. You came up with that name, bro. Who came up with that?
It was Two Jeebs, I'm pretty sure.
That's what I thought.
Because they were working on a project called Twin Towers for a little bit.
Yes.
And that was their debut solo collab. And we were in the studio and we were trying to get line up like all 3 of us to be able to link up in the studio at once. It took a while to get it. So then we first went in there, we're like, oh, we're just going to bang out like an EP or something like that. Because they also have really good work ethic as well. And like they're just on the go. They both have very strong discographies as well. And so I made some of the beats. And then Two Jeebs was like, we should call this The Day Before 9/11. And we were like, yeah, that is kind of fire. But then we're thinking like, all right, that's kind of a harsh title to put out and have people, receive it. So we were like, let's just call it 09-10-01.
Yeah, numbers do well.
Because then because it's still the day. If you break it down, it's still the day before 9/11. But then if you're like, a lot of people thought it was a spinoff of was it the show 90210?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So a lot of
yeah.
people were like, "Oh, this," and I'm like, "That has nothing to do with that." But I guess it could be a double entendre if you really try to bring it that way. But it was the day before 9/11. If all the skits and the cover, you can kind of see.
It cleared it up real quick. As soon as the project opens up, the first thing is like, they're talking about the building of the two towers and how they were built. And so that was a pretty crazy EP. I got the track list right here. We got Cinematic Dreams, Don't Bro Me, the Haifa song.
That's Haifa's song.
Haifa song, excuse me. Mispronounced that. That's one of my personal favorites. That's in a playlist. And
shouts out Haifa.
And you bitches lying about 9/11. And it's like lying. You bitches lying
it's just
about 9/11. And I'm like, wow.
I don't lie about my work ethic, but these bitches were possibly lying about 9/11 for sure.
Wow. What's your stand on 9/11? No, we don't got to do that. I'm just kidding. Don't. We don't have to. We're good.
Just buy the hats.
We're good. Yeah, just buy the hats.
Buy the hats. I might write you a little letter on what I think about 9/11, but it's only if you cop the hat.
And so you guys created that in one night. Talk to me about that night. What were some of the highs and lows? Was it smooth? Was it like cut and dry like butter, or was it like, you guys had to?
It was like it was basically like taking a knife and putting it on the stove for like an hour, and then cutting it through a piece of butter. It just was like
smooth.
And I got there late as fuck too. Like I got to the Villa studio. I think it was like 2:00 in the morning. I picked two Jeeps up around like 1:32, and we drove over to the studio because he had like he does mixing and stuff like that, and like he's an audio engineer as well. He's really, really fucking talented. He actually co-produced all the tracks on the project with me, as well as he mixed and mastered it and engineered it. So he's very, very talented. And we got there around like 2:30. We kind of fucked around and like was just like, oh, long time no see. Because that was the first time me meeting Davila as well. But it was kind of like, you ever meet somebody and you're like, it was the first time you meeting them, and you're like, holy shit, like we just bonded together, like we've met before.
Z Visions.
Word.
You already know.
So it was kind of like that. And then we went out and I had a bottle of Buffalo Trace, which is some bourbon. And then we kind of just had a few shots. We just went outside and smoked a couple splits and went out there and I made the beats with the Villa, and then he put them in the booth, and they both rapped on them instantly. We made that project in about probably like 4 hours, so about an hour each track.
Yeah, I enjoyed that project, bro.
It was all organic. When we left, I fell asleep on a beanbag chair in his studio, and then we left like early next morning. When we left with basically a finished project.
Nice, bro. That is solid. Now, let me ask you this, because I never came across and asked you this question. Where did all your talent and skills come from? Where did you learn to do this? Did you go to school? Was it YouTube University?
Nah, I actually tried to look it up. When I first got the NPC one, I tried to look up like videos on it, and I was like, these people are fucking bullshitting. Like, it's not beginners, it's people, like, I don't know, I wasn't learning anything from them, so I kind of just learned on my own, if that makes sense. Like, because I wasn't like, at first, I had no fucking idea what I was doing with that thing, and I was like, damn, I bought this machine, and I can't even fucking figure it out. And so I looked up on YouTube, and I couldn't figure it out, and I started slowly every day, I would just fucking mash buttons on there, like a fucking cat, just putting his paws in that thing, and then I was like, oh man, I gotta figure this shit out. And then so I slowly started doing it, but then like my levels weren't right, the beat was all fucked up, and I was like, damn. So I just started slowly asking Skip the Kid questions. He started helping me out a lot, and he was like, yo, you should come over to my house and I'll show you everything that I know that you have questions about. And then I went over to his house, and he basically showed me like 3 things, and then I just took the fucking rock and I just started shooting and dunking with the ball. Like, I'm very grateful for Skip the Kid, because he showed me a lot of what I know today. And then once I left his house that weekend, I kind of just took the fucking rock and I just started scoring MVP numbers, honestly. After that, I dropped the EggNog. And so we dropped Don't Skip the Lion 1. I think it was like the September 23rd or 24th of last year. And then after that, Two Jeeves got a couple of beats from mine and from me, and then it was my first album placement of somebody else's, and it was on the Jeep Tape 4. It was We Out, and then Under the Moon. Under the Moon was a really good song. I played that everywhere I go on tour. It's a really good banger. Jeep Tape 4 and 5 is pretty good. And then I kind of rode that wave out and just stayed in the studio, try to like craft a little bit of sound, and then I started to understand the vision that I wanted to put on EggNog 1, and then how I wanted to make that a reoccurring episode for just the visuals. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to drop this. I dropped that. It ended up doing pretty decent. And then I doubled back on New Year's and dropped my third project with a collaboration with the artist out of, I hope I'm not butchering this, Albany, New York, Sudoku. Shout out Sudoku. We've made a couple of projects together. He was actually on EggNog 1 too.
So many projects, bro.
There's so much.
That's
work.
the one I don't think I got to that one. But there's so many projects to choose
work
from, bro.
It's like the unemployment office. For real.
One song that I wanted to bring up from the Two Jeeves tapes, tape 5, was the one track Producer's Corner. Yeah, that's a pretty unique song. So talk to me about that song, because I think I'm piecing it together as to how that song played out. Correct me if I'm wrong. You were on the track. Who was the other homie? Skip was on the track as well.
So it was all the producers that produces a lot for Two Jeeves. He was like, oh, I want to get this like Producer's Corner. I want to do this type of make y'all rap. Skip,
very cool.
Skip already, long story short, Skip made that beat and then rapped on it before anything even happened. And then Skip fucked the beat up, and he was like, it didn't save right. So it put this little like, the little like snare drum, and it's like, da-da-da. Like, I'm sure if you listen to the song in the middle, it's like those little drums. That wasn't supposed to be there, but Skip was like, fuck it, I want to rock it out. I think it's fire the way it's like, da-da-da, and then it goes to the next verse. And then I heard that when I was at Skip the Kid's house, and Two Jeeves laid his verse. I went over to Skip's house, and then once I got there, it was Skip had his verse, Two Jeeves had his verse, and I was like, oh, he told me to rap on this for his album. I was like, oh, this is fire. I could definitely do some shit to that. So I did that, and we sent it back. And then Davila, his homie, got on the track, because Davila's also a decent producer as well as a engineer, and he raps. So damn near fucking does everything. And he was like, yeah, I got my producers rapping, like, and most of y'all can't even fucking rap. Most of these rappers can't even rap decent, let alone have their producers rap, so that was cool. That was really dope.
It was a really cool conceptual concept for that one track. The name, the intro to it, like, oh, we have a podcast here, this is the first episode. I got my producers on this shit. And no, it really sounded like a brotherhood, and Two Jeeves definitely has the utmost respect for the people that help him create the music and put it all together, because, so much so that he wanted to give you guys a track where all you guys are just having a great time, and it flows, it goes really well. And you were there rapping too, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were like, pass me my Hennessy. You're a big Hennessy guy.
Yeah, I'm a huge Hennessy guy. I wish Hennessy would endorse me.
We don't have Hennessy here, but we have Arizona iced tea. So we're going to walk into tea time, not brought to you by, but inspired by Arizona iced tea. Let's get into this. Here we go, some ASMR for my people.
Hold on, let me pull it up right here. Oh, man, I just fucked it up.
No, I'm a little... Cheers.
Yeah. ASMR for you hoes. Cheers. Thank you for having me.
Of course, brother. Let's get into tea time.
Santa Claus is in town, and so is Jazzy.
EggNog 2 coming soon. It's only right.
It is. It really is. I'm still working on that. Actually, to get a little insight on EggNog, all the production's finished. Sometimes I keep adding to it because I'm just so fucking hyped. But it's right now, I got to trim it down because it's about 40 to 50 songs.
Wow.
So I gotta, that is a little tea time exclusive.
Yeah.
So I gotta figure out who's basically I have a lot of it's basically all cool interludes and samples.
Real quick. Yeah, how are you gonna dumb that list down?
I gotta cut it down to at least like 10 to 15, but I'm not gonna cut any artists off, and I'm not gonna cut any features off. I have like a lot of like extra beats or like interludes where I can like probably make like EggNog scraps or EggNog leftovers or
EggNog Deluxe.
See, I think the deluxe stuff is kind of worn out.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like there was like a cool thing maybe last year, a couple years ago, where deluxe was cool. I just feel like you're just refeeding the same fucking. You're just reheating Thanksgiving leftovers on Christmas, if that makes sense. Like,
wow. Yeah.
Some people do it well, but I don't think a deluxe is for me. If anything, I'll make like a prelude to the project.
Okay.
So if anything, I might be like, EggNog prelude. Like I was for this project I did, it was Taz Mission. I was waiting on a couple features from that, and then shit just kind of got stuck up. So then I really wanted to drop it. So in my discography, a project before Taz Mission is prelude to a Taz Mission, and is the features on Taz Mission is Skip, Gustavo, I think 4 times, and Jules Clay. and shout out my guy in Buffalo. And then I was like, fuck, I want to drop this. I'm itching. Like, because Taz is my favorite wrestler. So then I was like, oh, fuck this. I'm not waiting no more. I'm going to just drop this little like 6-track EP and call it Taz Mission Prelude. And then I had Jules do the intro and then just rock that out. And then 2 weeks later, I dropped Taz Mission.
Well, I like the prelude idea. I definitely think that's a brilliant idea. I'm excited to see how you decide what tracks stay on. You know, I feel like maybe you're going to be flipping a coin, if I'm being honest.
I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
Let's knock out this tea time question real quick. I'll let you pick it and then just pass me the slip. I'll read it aloud, and we'll see what we get. That's a good choice right there. All right, let's see what we got. Today's tea time question of the day. Okay, this is a great question. This is an excellent question. Would you be able to use a bathroom with like a two-way mirror? I think it was a two-way mirror or one-way mirror. It's a bathroom. There's a bathroom. Okay, a public restroom.
Oh, with the hands, right?
Where it's when you walk in, you can see outside, but they can't see in. And it's in public. Like it could be like in the middle of Times Square or in Switzerland. And this is a question by Ensembles Design, Charlie Incarnato. So shout out to you because I thought that this was a great question. So there's a bathroom. There's bathrooms around this world that are two-way. And so basically they can't see in, but you can see out. Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you think you'd be able to use the restroom in that area, in that setting?
Hell yeah, especially when I'm drinking or if you've had a lot of beer.
Oh, yeah.
Man, no fucking. Or if you gotta drop a boo-boo, man, fuck that. Even if they could see, because you ever I went to this alternative suspension school when I was in my first year in the high school.
Alternative suspension school.
Basically, I was a badass kid. So like every kid that like had like he was suspended a bunch of times. Oh, he's going to go in alternative school. So they took all the kids in the district and put them at this abandoned YMCA, and they managed to like basically literature packets and math and shit. And it was all like old correctional officers and POs are just like out of shape trying to get a little bit of money. And the stall doors on there's an old YMCA, but they took all the stall doors off. So if you had to take a shit during like the 8 hours you were there, you're like 13, 14, 16. So it was actually everybody that was
that's fucked
like
up,
14 to 18 because, you know, like high school age.
Yeah.
And then the eighth grade actually was in there too. And you had to take a shit, you was shitting there. So it's like, and you know, you fucking with them chicken patties with the fucking milk in there. Oh, your stomach gonna be killed. So you might as well, but yeah, sometimes you gotta drop a boo-boo in places like that.
So you would be able to do it. I think I'd be able to do it too, just knowing that they can't be looking in. However, I don't
even give a fuck if they're looking in.
That's the difference between you and me. However, I will say if someone were like being an asshole and just pressed up against the glass, right?
Hey,
and just fucking like, just like that. Knowing I can see them as I'm trying to, you know.
That'd be funny. Yeah. I would, at that point, I would kind of want them to be able to see me because they're the weird person because you got your dick in your hand and you're pissing. And then these people are like making eye contact with you. Aren't they the ones that are in the question? Because you're just trying to do your business.
Yeah, they're weird.
And they're trying to make eye contact with another dude with his dick in his hand trying to take a piss. Pause. But like that's crazy to me. If like somebody really be like that, that person is in the wrong.
That person's in the wrong.
Me? But you ever see? There's to continue on that thing. I think it's like overseas in like the UK or whatever. They got these like portable piss stations now, to where it's like a phone booth. But it's like not like a square phone booth. It's like this little like twirl you go around in to where you can walk in and it has no door, but then you keep walking in and like you can't really see yourself, but you can see the feet and you can piss on like the thing because like it's like basically a new way of a public restroom. You gotta look that up. It's kind of.
I think I'm gonna have to.
It's kind of weird, but it's definitely like going viral now. Like
a portable.
It's like it's
portable urinal.
It's not even portable because it's like embedded in the street. It's basically like a trash can, fuck, I don't even know how to look it up.
Yeah.
But like I've seen a couple of videos of like people basically asking the same question, like if you really had to piss, would you do it? And I also seen a lot of people saying New York needs it. New York don't need nobody pissing on the streets. It already smells like that.
Yeah, I'm not seeing what you're referring to.
I gotta find that shit after the podcast, but I gotta show it to you. But that shit was like wicked because it basically like you could see like from like here down, and you can obviously tell when somebody pissing, and then it's like a drain that's like right there that you can. So, but it's like basically like you don't have to go in these public places and try to use a bathroom.
Yeah,
but that was kind of weird to me, but I was like, I guess that's cool.
I mean, things in different countries are they're not They're not the same over here, and it is a little bit weird from time to time, bro. But, that was tea time. Nah, bro, we're going to just do one question today. We'll move on.
Tea time, motherfuckers.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Not brought to you by, but inspired by Arizona Iced Tea. Thank you for tuning in.
Okay, one more time.
Michael, can you get the shots, please? It's 5 o'clock somewhere. No, I'm kidding. All right, so real quick, I wanted to talk to you about, we had brought up even a lion can break a bone, correct? Am I saying that?
Yeah, even a lion can break a bone.
Even a lion can break a bone, and you worked with Skell Beats, am I saying that right?
Correct.
All right, Skell Beats, and you had mentioned that he is an Australian producer, and how did that relationship come about, and how cool was it to work with someone internationally like that?
It was really cool. He's got like a whole different vision because I think he makes all his beats on a computer, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, my fault. But we just have two totally different ways of making some, like just making a process, and we have two totally different sounds, honestly. But I feel like it meshed well together because he's sampling stuff that's like I'll probably never even be able to fucking fathom just because I'm not around that area. I don't get his suggestions. I'm not in the Australian time zone or in the suggestions in the YouTube wherever you find samples, or even in the record stores. Like I would die to go somewhere overseas and grab a bunch of records and be able to pick them back.
Yeah.
But it was a good mesh of styles for sure. And then we had one feature in there, Jules Clay, which is both of our frequent collaborators. He collabs with Jules on a full project, I think twice, and then has like random Lucy's. And I have a couple of projects with Jules as well, and also a bunch of Lucy's. He's featured a lot of my projects as well. He's also featured on EggNog too. Just tune in, big track list. NBA All Stars basically on the EggNog too. But yeah, it was really dope to get that. And he did the cover art too. I actually really like the cover art too.
It is a really great.
It's
cover
definitely
art,
unique for sure. But yeah, he was mad talented, and it was just like a little bit of a breath of fresh air just to work with somebody that like will literally not have anything similar to what I have.
And are you guys planning on doing more projects?
We haven't discussed it, but I'm sure if I brought it up, or if he was to bring it up to me, I would for sure do it, and I would probably hit him up eventually. But I always ask him to do like interludes on my tracks. So he's been featured on a couple of my beat tapes as well.
I have here "Shithole Weed" was a good song, and the VVS.
Yeah, VVS was fire. Yeah,
and "Done with You."
Yeah,
done with you.
Sometimes you gotta be done with you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta look at the bitch and be like, bitch, I'm fucking done with you. And even when you look at the bitch and say that, she still doesn't understand that you're fucking done with her.
After EggNog, what do you proclaim as one of your favorite projects? As one of your most highlighted projects of people, the one that people gravitate towards?
My personal favorite, or ones that people gravitate to? Those are two different.
Why don't we do both then?
All right, so my personal favorite, I have a couple series with people. I have a couple of series with Gustavo. We have we have The Lion and Narco, which is one of my personal favorites that we've done just because it was our first collab full project. Mm-hmm. And then we're gonna do Lion and Narco 1, 2, and 3. Just 2 and 3 aren't out yet or not finished. But then we've also done a trilogy series that you've probably seen going through my discography. We have that as well. I hold that very dear because we just work so fucking hard. We actually banged all 3 of those projects out in a weekend.
Wow. You guys are...
Like I'm talking about, I made the beats from scratch, sent it to him. We rapped like face to face, and then he made the cover art while I was uploading it. And then bam, he sent me the shit.
And how often do you write, Gustavo? Do you write often, or is it kind of because you guys are producing at a rapid rate here?
I pretty much try to go with the rate he's going.
Okay.
He'd make the beat; it's already in my head right then and there. So I'm saying, "What you name that song?" And he might say, "Smack the hell out of a hoe." And I said, "Wow, I just had that thought in my head too. I just got on the phone with this girl, and I want to smack her head off." And there it go. Like it's really spontaneous and right then and there. I might write. It depends what it is, but like he said, he picked me up Friday. If I'm going back Monday, that's a guaranteed 3 projects because we just like let's push. And most of our albums, like he said, are inspired right then as that day went going on. Like, I don't want to, expose anything, but like I just left him for 5 days.
Yeah.
Literally. Went home, took a shower, fed my dog, seen my mama, right back, we here now. So there's no telling what's going to leave today. So this might be the Pocono album. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Maybe
you know what I mean? Sexy Scranton. Like,
maybe a little bit of Gustavo Luis
Scranton
and
and
Gomi J.
Yeah, but yeah, so basically.
We'll go explore Scranton. We'll get some cover art shots.
We need that for
and,
sure.
And that might be the album.
That'd be the collab
Sunday and
project.
Scranton album.
For sure.
Stay tuned.
That'd be dope.
Snow and Scranton, you know what I'm saying? There's definitely, Gustavo know how to make it snow for sure.
Yeah, man.
Ain't gonna go too much into that, but
hey, I mean, it's self-implied.
Whip. But yeah, so we have those projects, but we just did like the trilogy and then those three. So those are really cool to me, but that's just one person. So then I also have the Don't Skip the Lion trilogy, which Skip and I just dropped part 3 last month, if I'm correct, or the month before. Excuse me, I'm not very good with dates. I just like to work. So then I hold that very dear because that was my very first. Don't Skip the Lion 1 was the first project that actually created my stream pages. That first created everything, and Skip put me on and showed me all his shit and invited me to his lair of work. And it just, a lot of people wouldn't do that or, welcome with open arms. Like, I'm not showing that fucker how to show my fucker the recipe so we can go and open a bakery and fucking make money on my recipe, if that makes sense. But nah, he showed me a lot of love, and 1, 2, and 3 are really good, but 1 holds a special place in my heart and 3 holds a special place in my heart because we actually, on volume 3, we got features of who we normally work with, like who he works with and who I work with, just to be able to kind of be like, oh yeah, this is the 3rd installment of something we didn't even know was going to be successful. Because Don't Skip the Lion 1 did a lot of numbers for a person that never made music before. And shouts out to Skip again. Very thankful for that. And then I do have one more project that the 2 that are my personal favorites as well is the EggNog series. And then I just dropped a project called Lion Link, which I worked on that project all year long because some of the features were kind of taking forever to get back. I mean, that's a part of the game. No shade to no one. And then I kept adding to it. And then I probably dropped about 30 projects while working on that fucking project. And I was able to finally get it mixed and all the features to come through. Because I didn't want to cut people off.
You're insane.
You think so?
Yeah, no, I know so.
I just like to work, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was looking at my Bandcamp the other day, and I officially dropped 61 projects on there officially, but that's not even all that I have total because I have some on other people's Bandcamps. Like Gustavo's got I think 4 or 5 of our projects on his, so it's probably like 65. But I just like to work, you know what I'm saying?
So, Gustavo, I mentioned that, when you guys are making music, you often name the title of the track, okay?
Yeah.
So what goes into naming the title of these tracks, the title of the project? Is it all just emotional? What you feel is projecting? I mean, you talked about line projection, It's really cool to hear that you have that ability to, get crafty like that with the titles of everything, because that's a endless amount of work that you have to name, you know what I mean? And
you think so?
Yeah.
I feel like it just comes off top. Like, like randomly when you're just chilling, you're like, oh, I gotta take a piss.
Okay.
I feel like that's like my creative process. I'll be sitting on the couch, or I'll just be like watching through samples, or just watching an old WWE fucking video from like the 70s or WWF now about back then, and I'd be like, damn, that'd be a good fucking title. I'm like, holy shit, that'd be a good song. That'd be a good song. That'd be a good project. That's an interlude right there, the way he's talking shit. Oh, wait, hold on. If I go back, that's a whole project right there. And then if I get some jazz in there. So it's kind of just like a creative process. It's just like, boom, like
snaps.
Like 10 minutes ago, you didn't have to take a piss. But now you got fucking piss. Like nobody's business. That's kind of my creative process is just taking a piss.
Ready? Do you see sound?
Do I see sound?
Do you see sound?
I see sound, I hear sound, and I feel sound. Pause.
Okay. How do you see sound? How can you see it in front of you? What is that?
Like usually, like actually when I make some of my beats, I actually like close my eyes and kind of like just listen to it. That way, like I can't see like when it's like doing a repetition, or I can't see when it's changing up. So if I like just sound, so I'm sitting there and I'm listening to it and it sounds good. Or if I'm sitting there like this, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Versus if I keep staring at it, I'm like, oh, it's fucking up right there. Oh, it's fucking up right there. Close your eyes. It's not really. I'm just trying to micro points fucking dust that's not there, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
That's cool, bro. No, I wanted to ask that question because we've had a number of musical talents on this show, and everyone kind of, when I hear that people see sound, I think that's really cool to me because I'm like, that's interesting. Because of me, I'm more of I digest sound, I listen to it, and I like listen to it really well, in my opinion. I'm able to catch a lot of things, especially with headphones on. But I just wanted to ask that question. Now, so the project that the public has endorsed and loved the most, which one is that?
There's a couple, and it's funny because I always tell people like, just drop your music or just drop whatever. Because my personal favorite projects, some people are like, yeah, I'll listen to that, but this shit was dope. Or like, I've had a lot of people like Gomi actually has come up to me. He actually has mentioned it a couple of times that I did a tape not a long time ago, probably like earlier this year, called Lionfish. It was cool. I liked it. I thought it was something cool. I was watching a fucking like a Shark Week documentary, and then they said basically like, oh, and one of the only predators that it has to worry about is the lionfish. It's very toxic to everything that it comes in path with, whether it gets eaten or it gets stuck. I was like, what the fuck did it just say? I was like,
he's like, this is perfect.
A lionfish. I was like, what the fuck is a lionfish? And I was like, oh, wait, that's kind of dope. And then lionfish, they're like, what beta fish are?
Yeah, where they
fight.
Like,
yeah, but they look like beta fish, like colors. They don't look like the fish, but the colors, it's like one could be like tan and yellow, and then another one would be like fucking blue, and the next one would be like red. Like there's all different colors and shit, and they're so poisonous. And I was like, let me look up documentaries of this. And then it was just like, the lionfish is very deadly to all predators. It naturally dies on its own because it has no predators. I'm like, that's just like me. I'm like, bam, I got it. And then there's so many different cool pictures of them in the water, just like photography wise. I was like, chop that up, edit it, and then put my lion logo on there. That's the whole project right there.
Why the lion? Where'd the lion come from? Is it because of your hair, or is it because of a mentality that you hold?
My shorty, she actually, before I started doing beats, she would always call me DJ Jazzy Lion Man, because I would always be like, oh, I would take the aux from her. Oh, I got like a fucking 1,000 vinyls. I got a record player. I'm always listening to new music, like New Music Friday, New Music Monday. I'm listening to any music that's dropping. I'm trying to be in tune with or understand it and be hip, if that's what you want to fucking call it, because I want to be able to be like, oh, that dude's dope, I want to work with him, or I want to be able to sometime be on the radar and collab with them, or know like, oh, that guy's fucking trash, or that guy's trash, I don't even want to work with him, no shots taken, the shoe fits. And so I'm like, oh, that's cool. So that she would always call me like her DJ Jazzy Lion Man, whatever. I'm not a DJ, I've never DJed in my life. So when I started making beats, I'm like, man, I can't fucking call myself a DJ, because then that's like, that's cap. I'm not no fucking DJ. I don't even have no board or whatever I could, but I'm not. So I'm not trying to be like a cap producer. I'm not a cap rapper or producer. I'm not a cap artist. So I was like, it'd be cool. Jazzy Lion Man would be kind of fire. And then I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I looked up Jazzy Lion Man on Google, and I looked it up everywhere. Nothing, nowhere close to Jazzy Lion Man. So I was like, you know what? That's my thing, because that's going to be my name, and I'm going to trademark it. And if to this date, if you look up Jazzy Lion Man on Google now, the first fucking 10 pages, me. And then hopefully the 11th page by the time this episode drops is me.
Sturdy, bro.
You feel me? So like, I was like, oh, I don't want to have this fucking name that like,
is common.
It's so common. You know what I'm saying? Like too raw, too rock, smoke herb, just basic ass names, to where like if you look it up on regular streaming like Spotify, Apple, YouTube, even Bandcamp, and there's fucking thousands of people. You look up Jazzy Lion Man on anything, you're gonna find it, and you're not gonna have any trouble. And that's on everywhere. YouTube, Bandcamp, Spotify, fucking all my streaming all my socials as well. It's just Jazzy Lion Man. You can't miss it. You know what I'm saying? For some artists, they're like, oh, I rap under this artist name, but my tags is happyfunworld.com or some fucking shit. It's like, how the fuck am I gonna find Joe Schmo raps when you got I'm so happy on Twitter as your handle or some dumb shit like that? So it's like, you got to make sure that people can find you as well. So I was like, I don't want to be a DJ, because that's cap, but I also want to be able to have people to find me and have an original name and an idea. And honestly, it worked well, because I can basically make Lion fit with fucking anything.
It really has worked well, bro. It's, you see it in the discography, how well you use Lion, and time again, it never fails, bro. So you have
it's like grandma's recipe. It always comes home and works well.
It worked out, man. It all worked out. We love when that happens, when shit like that just happens. There we go. That's 3 shots now, guys. 3 shots. 5 o'clock. It's not even it. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, but it is here now.
I'll have a drink whenever you please.
What was I gonna ask you? Let me get it back. Bring it around town. Here we go. Longevity. What are your goals, man? Longevity wise, where do you see this taking you?
I'm trying to. I'm just trying to set the bar so fucking high that I can't even reach it, if that makes sense. So where it's like, oh, the bar is all the way up in the fucking moon.
Do you ever think you're gonna work yourself to death if you do that?
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Because we're all gonna die eventually.
That's the goal.
Because we're all gonna die eventually.
You're a hungry motherfucker, and I love it.
Yeah, for sure. Like if that's the way, or one day I want to have like a statue in Delaware where I'm just hunched over a computer desk, just like fucking around with some shit, or like I got a vinyl, or like that picture of DJ Premier with the vinyl in his mouth. I'll have some shit like that. But like, we're all gonna die eventually. Whether if you want to look at the glass half empty or half full, we're all gonna die eventually. And some people work a 9 to 5 till they fucking die, whether they're fucking 50 or fucking 90 years old. Some people still work. To me, this is work. I'm trying to get paid off this shit. Like some people go and do their 9 to 5 job and they're trying to get paid and work. I'm also trying to get paid and work off this shit as well, and also make a name for myself as well as that. So I guess the goal of it, not to be cliche, is to be like, oh, I want to make money off this shit, be able to live comfortably, but I also want to make my visions as a music producer and an artist come true. Like I have big names that I would like to work with as well, if that makes sense. Like, or I have certain names that might not be as big to other people, but I also have like other people like fucking internationals. Like me personally, I would love to work with Lana Del Rey. Like that would be like one of the biggest goals for me. Is like I know a lot of people like, you make fucking rap beats or whatever. She was rapping too. She's got fucking songs with Playboy Cardi and ASAP Rocky. You know what I'm saying? A lot of songs with ASAP Rocky. So it's like a real artist doesn't box themselves in. And I would know personally if I made it, if you see Jazzy Lion Man and Lana Del Rey collab. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to get paper off that, but also like I would be doing shit that I love. And like to me, I'm like, it ain't gonna get no better than this. I mean, I'll probably have other aspirations of like, oh, I want to work with him, I want to work with her. But like, I like to work with like singers and pop people as well as rappers too. I don't want to be like, oh, he's just a rap producer. If that makes sense.
Well, you heard it here first, Lana Del Rey.
Yo, hit me up. I got some merch for you, yo. I'll take you around Delaware. I'll take you on a date. I'll do whatever we gotta do. Come on, baby.
Here, one last question here real quick, and then we're gonna get ready to sign off here shortly. But I really wanted to ask you, because I've never been to Delaware. I've never been in that area. How's the scene out there? Is it lively? Are you finding yourself?
It's trash. Sorry, Delaware.
Do you think you could change the narrative by any chance? Is there anything that could change that?
Yeah, I feel like I could. I've done a couple of shows at this Wonderland record shop. That's like kind of like my hometown like thing. But I feel like you get more love out of outside of your own city sometimes.
You're damn right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
And it's kind of unfortunate to say that, but there's like a lot of people that be like, oh, you're fucking dope here, you're dope here. Or like going on tour with Freddie Stone. I got more love out of town and going on the road to fucking Rhode Island and Maine and Massachusetts and fucking New York than I did in Delaware or even in Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Even because they still like me or I'm a new artist, they've just like showed me a lot of love. Like I sold out on hats almost twice now, which is pretty decent, and we almost sold out on tour t-shirts. But like down in Delaware, it's like I don't know. They're kind of on a different wave down there. Not like good. Kind of like there's not much of a scenery, and if it is, it's kind of trash.
Gotcha.
There's some diamonds in the dirt down there, but it's like, it's cool.
You ever think you'll leave that area to?
Yeah, eventually for sure. It's just
any ideas as to where?
Not that I know of at this moment I could speak of, but just I don't know. Maybe just open up like Los Angeles and California was really good to me, so that'd be a nice spot to open, or even New York. But I have some ties in Delaware and some family I would like to stay with for a little bit and be able to enjoy life with them too as well. But I don't know, if a new opportunity shows up somewhere else in a new city, for sure I would like to go.
Sounds great, man. Jazzy Lion Man, before we get off the air here, we give the guests the floor. If there's anything that you want to shout out, anything that you want to let the people know before we get off the air here, the floor is yours. Thank you for coming out.
Oh, man. I'm about to shout out a lot of people. Yo, shout out my mama. Shout out my grandma, Jazzy Lynn. My grandma, she hold it down. She be hitting the blunt, too. You already know. She's a savage, for sure. Shout out my Narconomics family. Shout out Gustavo. He's really showed me a lot of love in this path. Shout out 2 Jeebs. We've also got some music together, but this logo you see on all my albums and every cover art and my hats, he designed that. So 2Jeep designed the logo. Gustavo put it on a hat and made it quality. So show me some love. Shout me out. Shout out Skip the Kid. Yeah, man, just literally gave me the rock for the. So you know that LeBron and D Wade.
Oh yeah.
Then that's how I feel like Skip the Kid. He was like, "Here's the recipe," and I took that bitch and fucking slam dunked it.
I'm a Miami fan. I get it.
Word, yeah, you already know that. So shout out Skip the Kid. Just shout out everybody that's collabed with in the last fucking 65, 70 fucking projects this year. I'm really grateful. Thanks to Freddie Stone for having me on tour. I got a lot of new shit coming up too. EggNog 2 coming out. Christmas, you know, I did it last Christmas and do it this Christmas. Guess what happens next Christmas? EggNog 3. So besides that, just stay in tune to EggNog 3 because that's going to be probably the best drop of the year for what I think. It's going to be new faces, old faces, you know, some stale faces, some fresh faces. You know, I'm going to be on there doing my thing. I'm just going to be flipping holiday sounds that most people haven't flipped, and I'm going to have rappers you've never even heard of before do their thing. And I appreciate everybody for having me on here. I appreciate the cameraman. Appreciate my guy. Thank you for everything.
As always, bro, it's been a pleasure. I thank you for coming on this show, man. Your discography is large. You really cleared up the confusion that I had. Your explanation, the passion, it's burning within you. I see it. It's in your eyes. And, you know, you can't take that away from someone. When you see the passion that someone is speaking on of something that they're proud of, you can see that and you know through and through that they're going to achieve it all the way through. So, Jazzy, it's been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to getting my own hat. Yo. And, you know, thank you for coming out all the way to Scranton.
What episode is this?
121 of the Middleman Podcast.
100. This is 121. So you should have been listening to 120 other episodes, and then 121st is your boy. And then tap in for Christmas. I'm going to be here, drop a lot of music with the Narconomics Squad, a lot of solo shit. I always have hats. I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm going to say it. I'm going on tour in the beginning of next year. I can't tell you who. A lot of moves. Fuck with me. I appreciate y'all. 121, the Middleman Podcast. Bless.
Fire, bro. Fire. I am the man in the middle, Kevin Martinez, signing out. Peace.
Peace, peace, peace.